Britain, once a proud island fortress, now stands exposed. Her defences, once ironclad, are now riddled with cracks, and through those cracks, the tide is flooding in. But this time, it wasn't a critic or a commentator who said it. It was a member of the very government itself, a confession that shook Westminster to its core. Before we dive deeper into this story, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement helps this channel grow, and your opinion matters more than you think. So tell us, has Britain truly lost control of her borders? Honesty, it's not a word many associate with Labour. So when Defence Secretary John Healey stood before the nation and admitted what many have whispered for years, that Britain has lost control of her borders, it was a rare moment of truth in the fog of politics. He called it as it was, a border crisis spiralling out of control. But even that brief flash of honesty couldn't last. Within moments, he slipped back into the familiar rhythm of political blame, pointing the finger squarely at the previous government. He claimed Labour had inherited an asylum system in chaos. Yet what the public sees tells another story, one of continued collapse, rising numbers, and vanishing accountability. This year alone, at least 37,000 migrants have successfully crossed the Channel, and those are just the ones we know about. If the trend continues, the record-breaking 45,755 crossings in 2022 will soon be surpassed. The truth? Britain's borders are as leaky as a sieve. And for all the tough talk, the government has yet to prove it can even plug the holes. Mr. Healey may have admitted failure, but let's not forget, he also campaigned on a Labour manifesto that vowed to scrap the Conservatives' Rwanda deportation plan, the same plan that Sir Keir Starmer himself dismissed as nothing more than a gimmick. Now, Labour stands exposed. Because what they tore down, they've replaced with nothing. And so, the crisis festers. The Prime Minister, desperate to regain control, promised to stop the boats through a one-in, one-out deal with France. A policy so hollow, it barely deserves the name. Months passed, and only one migrant had been deported under the scheme. It was the government's grand solution, reduced to a tragic joke. But the story doesn't end there. Because that very same migrant, an Iranian man, who had been sent away under the new rules, came back. Within days. He crossed again, claiming to be a victim of modern slavery in France. And so, the carousel turns, a never-ending cycle of ineptitude, incompetence, and political impotence. This chaos has not gone unnoticed. It's fuel for a growing political fire, a fire that now bears the name Reform UK. And at the heart of it all stands Nigel Farage. The man many once dismissed as a loud voice on the fringe, now looks like a prime minister in waiting. Farage warned Britain years ago. Back in 2014, he issued a grim prophecy that if the government failed to stop illegal migration at its source, Britain's very fabric would begin to unravel. He said, "As a small country, we simply cannot accommodate the hundreds of thousands who may look to Britain as an opportunity for a more comfortable life. The result will be so much pressure on public services, employment, housing and education that the quality of living in the UK drops for everyone." Those words, once mocked by his critics, now echo like a haunting warning fulfilled. Farage spoke then of being vilified by the political class, attacked for daring to speak about migration openly. But his message was clear. We need to talk about these issues to prevent social discord. We need to look at the numbers. We need to face reality. And yet, here we are. The Conservatives' Rwanda plan, grounded before it ever took flight. Labour's alternative, a vacuum of weakness and wishful thinking. Sir Keir Starmer now finds himself cornered, dismissing Farage's latest proposal to scrap indefinite leave to remain as racist and immoral. But the public seems to be asking a different question. When every government before has failed, what choice is left? The tide keeps rising. The boats keep coming. And Britain, once certain of her borders, her laws, and her strength, now drifts in dangerous waters. Maybe that's why so many now whisper the same unsettling thought. If no one else can stop it, perhaps Nigel Farage will. What do you think? Is Britain's border crisis beyond saving? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and make sure to turn on the notification bell, because the next chapter in this story might be the one that changes everything.